open the episode at Stegron's house as we see Stegron in his dinosaur form tossing Briggs' men to the side, and he's destroying their cars. He looks straight at Briggs. "I will kill you, Briggs." "You can try, Stegron." "All forces fire at will." Briggs' men continue to shoot at Stegron, but the bullets do nothing to him at all. "Go get them." A small unit of men walk into the house to retrieve Humberto, Eva, and Julian. The men come in and they grab the trio as they try to fight back. Julian is trying to resist as Eva is fighting off the men, punching and kicking them to the side. "How do you know how to fight like that?" "It took 3 years of Taekwondo." Humberto nods as he closes his eyes and his arms turn into velociraptor arms, and he slashes the guns off the men and kicks them down with his tail. Humberto looks to see Stegron is getting close to Briggs, and he grunts as he begins to form his wings and flies towards Stegron. "Stegron, what the hell did you do to yourself?" "The only thing I could do to kill Briggs and make him pay." "Pay for what?" "The death of my family." "What?" "He killed them, and now I'm going to kill him." Stegron grabs a car and throws it towards Briggs. Briggs notices this and starts to run away and is about to fall until Humberto grabs him and flies him out of the way. The car crashes as the cops and civilians begin to look at what is happening. Briggs looks at Humberto, but Humberto flies back to Stegron and uses his tail to throw a car back at him. He hits him and Stegron is angry at what Humberto just did. "Stegron, you're not thinking straight." "I am thinking correctly, and I will do whatever I have to do to get to Briggs." "But he isn't responsible for your family's death. It was a fire." "There was no fire. Briggs sent a hitman to kill me after I found out what he was doing with my dinosaur tissue serum. He wasn't going to use it to help people cure cancer. He was going to sell it on the black market for top dollar. When I found out he killed my family, I tried to confront him, but he just fired me. And I stole every part of my experimental serum that gives me the strength of a Tyrannosaurus Rex." "So you're on a murder mission?" "He sent your parents on one as well." Humberto was confused. "I cared about your parents, Humberto, but I will do what I need to do to avenge my wife and son, so stay out of my way." Humberto looks to the ground for a second and gives a determined face. "I'm sorry, but I can't let you kill Briggs." "So be it." Stegron launches himself at Humberto and he dodges, just barely reaching him. Stegron lands on the ground and he looks at Briggs and he begins to run towards him. Humberto sees this and his body turns into Stegosaurus armor, and he pushes Stegron's back with full force. "I know you want to avenge your family, but this isn't the right way." "It is the only way." Humberto's tail grabs Stegron's neck as he begins to fly, but the weight of Stegron is too much, so he begins to fall. They both land on the ground. Humberto gets up and his arms turn into velociraptor claws, and his legs turn into velociraptor legs, giving him the edge to hold off Stegron. Stegron gets up and Humberto starts to slash his claws at him. Some slashes hit well, whilst others don't. Stegron grabs a piece of iron and throws it towards Briggs, and Humberto's tail grabs it and throws it right back at Stegron, knocking him back. Eva and Julian see Humberto and begin to run right towards him. "Humberto! Get out of here!" "No, we're not leaving you." "God damn it, go!" Stegron runs towards Humberto and tackles him and begins to punch him so many times Humberto is about to become unconscious. When Stegron is about to deliver a final blow, Stegron begins to feel tired and he begins to turn back into his human form. "No, not now." Stegron turns back to his human form and begins to run away from the scene. Briggs sees this and begins to walk away. Eva and Julian see Humberto on the ground and they pick him up from the ground. "We gotta go right now." "Start moving. I'll be right behind you." Julian and Humberto walk away as Eva finds something in a wrecked car that is under Stegron's name. She grabs the file and begins to leave. The trio walk away from the scene and none of them speak. We see Stegron look so angry as he paces back and forth and he talks to himself as he says he will get his revenge. He looks at a photo and begins to cry, but his crying turns to anger. "I will end this once and for all." We cut back to Tia Gloria's house as we see the trio walk into the house quietly. Humberto looks at his cousins and thinks about everything that has happened. Just then, Gloria comes in with a worried voice. "What the hell is going on with you three? You're all over the news." "Wait, what?" Gloria leads the three of them to the living room as they see themselves on TV as the news is telling the story of what happened at Stegron's house. "Mr. Briggs, do you believe that the attack on your life here is a sign of people feeling threatened by your business?" "No, I don't believe that this was an attempt on my life. Let's wind the clocks back to 2008 when Tony Stark, God rest his soul, was kidnapped. He came out of that kidnapping as Iron Man, and his life ended with stopping Thanos and bringing back all lives that were lost. He was remembered as a hero. When I die, I don't want to be remembered as a hero. I want to be seen as a man who wanted to change the world in the chemical industry. So to say that this attack was an attempt on my life, I would say bullcrap, because my time on this earth has not yet come to an end. Gloria turns off the TV and Humberto begins to go upstairs, and Eva sits down looking at the file she found. Julian, you better start telling me what the hell is going on. Mom, listen, I'll tell you everything, but this past week has been insane to say the least. Julian takes his mom to the kitchen to explain everything that has been going on. Eva grabs a marker and looks at a whiteboard. We cut to Humberto's room as he's sitting on his bed just looking to the ground in defeat. He turns his head to see the photo of him and his parents. He picks up the photo and begins to cry as he has no more leads to what happened to his parents. He hears someone coming up the stairs and sees that it's Gloria. He turns his head to her. Julian told me everything. Humberto puts his head down after hearing that. Gloria enters the room and sits right next to him. Lo siento mucho, Humberto. It doesn't matter. What? Everything that's happened these past few days doesn't matter at all. I don't believe that. Well, it's the truth. You know, there was a saying that your mother used to tell me when she would beat me in basketball. What was it? It doesn't matter how low the odds look. The only thing that matters is how hard you try. What does that mean? In this situation, it means that even though Briggs may have been the reason your parents are missing and Stegron's family is gone, it doesn't mean he should be killed. Sometimes forgiving people that have affected your life is the best way to honor the ones you've lost. Well, what if they don't deserve forgiveness? Well, then maybe they'll get what's coming to them soon enough. Humberto looks down and gets up and begins to leave his room. Where are you going? To forgive someone. We cut to Briggs walking into his office as his secretary is informing him of important information. It appears that your interview has given off some weight of the events from earlier today. And what about finding Stegron? Satellite imaging shows that he's somewhere in San Francisco. Have men on high alert. We have no idea when's the next time he could attack. Sir, I was wondering, you made the company to help those who were dying of cancer. Why are you spending so much time with prehistoric dinosaur experiments? Prehistoric dinosaurs were the epiphany of the human race. They knew what it took to survive. They fought to survive. When I made this company, I had the belief that the people with the power can save the world no matter the cost. If that's the case, why send the Lopez family through that mission in New Mexico? Briggs looks down to the ground and smirks. Isaac, Jessica, and Humberto are the most loyal to me, and I know that when Stegron comes for me, Humberto will be the hero I know he is, and I will truly see what that crystal can do. Briggs walks away and he looks through his window. We cut to Humberto as we see him standing in front of Shady Acres and walks into the building. He goes inside and he signs in to see his grandfather. He takes the elevator to his room and sees that he's not inside and walks to the cafeteria to see him eating. He walks right towards him. Abuelo? Vicente looks up at Humberto. Come to interrogate me again? No. I came to say sorry for how I reacted. Sorry? I know you and my dad had a rough relationship, but that doesn't mean that should be between us. Vicente looks down and nods. You know, when your father was born, I was in Vietnam. I received a photo from my wife, Angela. The sheer amount of happiness I felt was so pure, I wanted nothing more than to come home and meet him. What happened while you were there? We were ambushed and almost everyone was killed. But you survived. That's because I was a coward. Humberto looks confused. I hid as I saw my hermanos die, and I did nothing to stop it. I saw good men die because I wanted to meet my son. So that's why you and my dad had a rough relationship. I blamed him for me being a coward and not fighting. Every time I looked at him, I saw nothing but my failure to fight for my country. And it's probably because of me pushing him away that he's missing. Humberto sits down next to his abuelo. No, abuelo, that was not your fault. When I woke up from my coma, I thought it was because of me that my parents are missing. But now I'm thinking about it, me getting into that coma made me find my purpose. And it's allowed me to do incredible things. If you think about it, all the good you could do, that relationship between the both of you can be fixed. You know, you're the second person to tell me that. What do you mean? Yeah, some gringo named Vincent Stegron came to see me like 2 hours ago. Humberto looks nervous. What did he say to you? All he said was, because of recent events, he will use his gifts to make the world better. Shit. Humberto, what's going on? We cut to the Los Angeles Zoo as we see Stegron turn into his dinosaur form and begin to cause panic amongst the people as cops begin to fire at him, but no bullets do damage. We cut back to Briggs Industries as we see a guard walk into Briggs' office with a panicked look. Sir, the dinosaur's back. Evacuate the non-personnel and get the men ready. We cut back to Shady Acres as we see Humberto begin to leave and Vicente follows him. Where are you going? I'm going to Eva and Julian. I'm going with you. No, you're not. They're my grandchildren as well. I'm going with you. How are you going to get out of here? You let me handle that. We cut back to Tia Gloria's house as we see Gloria, Eva, and Julian in the living room looking on the news to see that Stegron is destroying the cops and is getting closer to Briggs Industries. What is he doing? He's going to try to kill Briggs. Where the hell is he? Just then, Humberto and Vicente walk into the house frantically. Humberto, there you are. Wait, how and why is he here? I'm being let out for a few hours, so we better speed this up. What's happening? Stegron's moving towards Briggs' building. It doesn't make sense. Why is he starting at the zoo? That's because his son loved the LA Zoo. What do you mean? When we were leaving Stegron's house, I found this file in a card that he flipped over, and I think I finally built a full timeline. Alright, hit us with the timeline, Miss Karate Detective. Eva smiles and nods at him. She brings the whiteboard and quickly starts explaining the timeline. Okay, so a year and a half ago, Stegron's family died in the fire. His son, Kyle, loved being at the zoo. Which explains why he's starting at the zoo. Exactly. So according to the file, 3 weeks after their death, Stegron found out about Briggs sending a hitman to kill him, and we all know how that ends. Moving forward, 1 week later, Stegron breaks into his own lab to steal a serum that he designed to cure cancer, and he spends a full year working on it and finding out where Briggs' research facilities are. What is the serum even meant to do? Well, as I said, it was originally meant to cure cancer, but from what I can tell, Stegron combined the tissue of a T-Rex to allow him to transform into his monster form. But it looks like there's a side effect to it. What side effect? Basically, every time he transforms, the monster side of him takes more control and gets stronger. That's why when Humberto fought him, he got stronger over time. Yeah, and beat my ass to a pulp. Well, speaking of you, a week before he finished his serum, Briggs sent you and your parents to New Mexico, where I found the crystal and I went into a coma. Exactly, so after you went into your coma, your parents tried to figure out what happened to you, so Briggs was funding the money. That fits with what he told me when I woke up. But what he didn't tell you was the amount of money he was giving them. How much money was he giving them? According to the file, they asked for $500,000 in funding all in one packet for them to set up a lab and do research. But Briggs gave them no more than $150,000, and that's why all the information Humberto found was very limited. He didn't give them anything. Nothing. But when does their disappearance fit into all this? Well, Mom, I'm glad you asked. When Theo, Isaac, and Tia Jessica came to LA to see us and Abuelo, they wanted a break from Briggs and his delay in funding. But when Tia Jessica went to go see Stegron, she wanted to see if he could give her money to extend their research. Stegron came through and gave them an additional $200,000. Jesus, that's a lot of money. Yes, it is. So he gave her the money, and I think he told her what happened to his family. So then she tells Theo Isaac, and they become untrustworthy of Briggs. Then 1 month before Humberto wakes up, they disappear, and Briggs could have been the reason. That son of a bitch. This is the best working timeline I have. I mean, it fits with all the information we got before this. So in the end, all of this was Briggs' ideology to become the #1 chemist. And because of it, his life is now in danger. So what do we do? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? I mean, I tried to stop Stegron and I got my ass kicked. That's because he caught you off guard. The group looks at Vicente. This time we will catch him off guard. No, this is my fight. Sobrino, we do this together. Humberto looks at his family and smiles. Alright, anyone got a plan? I think I got an idea. The family stands together in the living room as we cut to black.